Okay, we're just going to do a quick little show you how I did the import and how it's going to go into Ezigrade and give you an idea of how to benchmark and all that good stuff. So I'm going to create a new folder and just going to call this number 2 because I've already gone through this once to make sure I'm doing it right. So this is our Ezigrade 4 software. See, we're running in survey feet. We want to check that part first. Um, and we're going to import in that AG3 file that you got. That's a top level format. So this is the design. And it's important here when we say we want to set up surfaces, we don't type in anything, just hit OK, which means no. So the nice part there then, this is your original survey, your surface, your natural surface. This would be your cut fill, and this would be your design. Um, what we can do here is play a little bit. Let's see if I can make this work. Sometimes playing around to get these maps, yeah, it can be a pain in the ass sometimes to get these maps set right just because of the different elevations that are in there. You got to play with them sometimes to get the right numbers. So anyway, we're not going to play with that too much here. But this here is our design surface. This little green dot is your new benchmark. Um, and what we could actually select other points. If we went into the CDS software, we could select other points to create other benchmarks, but we're just going to use your master bench that they've set up here. So one thing we have to do is change the way that they save it. So I'm going to hit this little points piece down here, and we're going to bring this over. And what you'll find, so this is all the different data points. So when it's part of the original survey, you'll see east and northern height. When it's part of the design, you'll see a design height. Uh, these codes are how they save the points when they're surveying them. Now here we can see we've got some design heights. So this would actually be from your layer that is part of the actual design. Uh, this is where it gets confusing. Well, you see this little 0.295 design height. That means this particular data point is part of your cut fill map. This one here is actually a data point from your design. Now, normally the numbers would be a lot different. Usually you'd have like a range of 1,000 numbers, say the 2,000s are your cut fill and the 3,000s are your design, yada yada. But anyway, that's not how they did it here. The reason I'm scrolling all the way down is usually at the very bottom, they put in your benchmark. And the problem is when it's a master benchmark, in TopCon they call it an MBM. But for us, we just wanted to say MB. So I'm going to highlight that and just type in MB, enter, select another spot, and now that will be saved as MB. So when we go to export this out to Agguide, it will recognize that point as the master benchmark. So that's all good. And really, that's the only thing we really need to do to this right now. So I can go ahead and hit export. We're going to export it to Agguide. Agguide or Agguide Multi is about the same thing. I'll just use this as the file name. Surface we want to send out is the design. I don't really worry about any of this stuff here. We don't have any strings. You could actually create your own run lines in here if you wanted to. But we're not going to worry about that. I'm just going to hit OK. And it says it's created. Now, if it didn't save that master benchmark, it would actually come up with an error message first to say there's no master benchmark. But we didn't get that error message, so we're good. So now what we can do is go check out the design. So I'm going to fire up Agguide here. And I've actually, well, we'll do it a different way. Anyway, I'm going to fire up the simulator. You can do this if you want to, say you're in Texas and you want to check or you're not out in the field. You actually go into info and simulate mode. What it does then is it creates it pretends that it's got GPS connected. So that way you can see the plan on the map. Otherwise, you wouldn't see it because you're not in the right GPS position. Now I'm actually going to go in here. We're going to start from scratch. So I'm going to go Maps, Plans, add a new one, Northern Hemisphere. Okay. And then we're going to go looking for your file. So this could be on your USB stick or whatever it's going to be. So this is the one that we just made, number 2. And I'll go back. So you can see it looks pretty much the same. And if we scroll in on our little tractor there, we're almost on the master benchmark. The tractor's on the master bench. So I'm going to pull ahead here, and we're going to pretend that we just put the scraper on the master benchmark. Now you'll notice because we're off the design, we lose all of our information here. And that's because we don't have any design heights here. We only have actual heights. So don't have to worry about that. And when I go to benchmark then, I come in here, maps, plans, and we go edit. And because we're sitting right on the master benchmark, now you see this is what the loaded benchmark is. Okay. And I'm going to hit this GPS master benchmark button, and bang, it's going to change the information a little bit because your GPS is going to be measuring that same position slightly differently. Now, your benchmark Z is not going to be 0 feet because you're going to be connected to a GPS that's reading something. My GPS is considering that everything is at 0 feet elevation. Okay. Once you hit that on the master benchmark and you go back, we're just going to back you up here a little bit. And once we get onto, say, an area that's in grade, so what you'll notice here is our target is 49.083. Our original is 50. So, and there seems to, I think there's something, again, in the simulator here, which is a little weird because, even though this should be on grade right now, it's showing that it's 0.9 feet high. And this will be something too, the way the simulator is set up. As I drive along a little bit, we start to change our heights. It's just something to allow us when we're simulating ditches and that. So more than likely, if you went around and took your scraper and put it on a place that's green, that's on grade, probably wouldn't see this. It should be 0. But if you do see this, what we can do is you come over to this offset here and you left click or press on it. Why do I always do this? Oh, no, I don't want that. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, so we click on the offset here. And then we click on where it says height offset. And what I can do now, if my blade is sitting on the ground in a spot that should be on grade, and it's showing it's not on grade, I can just hit set to grade. And go like this. And now you can see my delta blade is 0. We've got an offset built into it. So essentially what the master bench was supposed to do, we have the ability then to go in and adjust to it again. So this again was what I was thinking we would do the other day is once the design showed up on your screen, then you could just plunk your scraper down on a spot that's on grade and do this part here. We're bringing that here and then hit set to grade. If you want to make it permanent, if I click this, these numbers would go to 0, but it would have that 0.917 foot offset permanently in. So it's up to you whether it's easier for you to consider it, if we hit this now, see it says 0 offset, but we're still on grade, right? So even though, we're at the right spot, everything's zeroed out, that 0.917 is just built into it. So it all depends on how much you want to see this. And then, of course, we have these offsets as well that you can set. If you hit that, it'll bring it up 0.3 feet. So, we've raised it up 0.3 feet, so you see that we got to go down 0.3 feet, right? So you can do that as well in order to, oops, there we go. So we can do that to try to get everything back to 0 here. And you can set these numbers in the, actually go settings and in here. And then we can set this. So your maximum step can be 0.33 and you could have your minimum step of 0.03 feet, whatever you like. So you might want to make this 0.1, so it's a tenth. And, you might want to make this more like 4/10. Oops. And go back. So you see now they've changed, and we can just hit that, and gives us a little bit more room to play around if we want. So anyway, I hope that all makes sense. Gives you a quick run through of Ezigrade and how you would use it for converting those files. Yeah, I'll put this onto YouTube and hopefully it makes sense to you. All right, take care.